Canaries in the coal mine. What were canaries used for in the coal mines? I feel like I heard this before. I've heard this expression before. If you put a canary in a coal mine, something about if it doesn't come back, that means it's poisonous or something? What? Or there's like bad gases or something? Fuck. What does the expression mean? I don't remember. Why did they put canaries in coal mines? They die because of sensitive lungs. Okay. And that would tell you if a mine was safe or not? For carbon monoxide. Okay. I got a food thing. All right. Just eating this. We're gonna go over some of this book. I haven't read it. I'm tempted to buy it now because oh my god. Or I guess it's free. Like to actually go through and read it all. Holy shit. Let's just eat it.
He's standing in front of the net with about 8 inches of his shaft in his hand. He's standing in front of the net with about 8 inches of his shaft in his hand.
Oh man.
I see the Chinese players streaming all the time. Yeah, I see like Xiaohai, they're always like streaming all the time. Daco, he's like like constantly.
Yeah, it's KOF final source, very good to watch.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
okay.
like close game.
Yeah, it's really good. It's Taiwan and China, right?
What's that?
Taiwan and China?
No, it's like, yeah, he versus Xiaohai.
Yeah. And the ZJ, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And just so you know, that's us. So I hope you guys are ready to have some fun, because otherwise we're going to get fucked by a bunch of fucking cockroaches and grasshoppers. So, Wiggy, I know you're looking at me like, yeah, let's go.
Am I still awake?
Whatever. You know what, no offense, but since it's my last night, you're gayer than the ace of fucking spades, you're queer than a $3 bill, and fucking A.
So meet me in the red room?
I'll give you a given head.
I'm okay, but I'm better at receiving it.
Well, you know what, I'll take okay, because, you know what, I'm not that generous, so, you know, I'd rather have you teeth me and rake me to shit than actually fucking give you any sort of satisfaction.
Really graphic and exciting.
Really? But you know what? It's cool because you know it's never gonna fucking happen because he's way too fat for me, dude. I just don't roll like that. No offense.
Yeah, that was totally not offensive.
You know what? That's great. That you can, before you say anything, like, no offense, but I just want to say you're a fucking fat fucking douchebag mooly motherfucker. I wouldn't fucking put my cock anywhere near you, but you're a cool guy.
Dom Herrera.
No offense. Thank you for calling out Dom Herrera. You know what? Fucking, you're gonna fucking Wiggy in the bathroom. Fuck you.
Yeah. I'm gonna fuck your girl.
Good one.
I don't have a girl, so you know what? We can all join together. You're a fucking douchebag. You know what? Sitting in the front of the crowd. Fuck you. Anyway, I'm glad you two are enjoying it, because you know what? I can kind of see the two of us.
Austin Wheeler's girlfriend.
Thank you. If I wasn't scared of getting herpes, I'd fuck her too. You know what? It's a comedy show, dear. You gotta roll with the punches.
It was. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, you want to hear a joke? Okay, so I'm watching golf earlier, right? And obviously that's the most boring fucking shit to watch. Do you know the difference between fucking looking for a golf ball in a G-spot? A guy will spend 20 minutes looking for a fucking golf ball. Really? No. Come on. That fucking bombed. Well, apparently all the old people have fucking left, but fuck you guys anyway. Can we talk about marriage a little bit more? Because that's a huge mistake. Yay! I know a few people have made that mistake. Yeah, I made the mistake of marrying a cunt.
Okay.
You're not fucking medkitting right now.
Sorry.
You're not fucking medkitting right now.
Damn,
Fucking
damn.
medkitting right now.
Oh, that's a drunk text. My God. Oh, that's a drunk text. My God.
Wait, that's your.
Wait,
Oh, that's your. Wait, that's your boyfriend?
nice, man.
Look at her, she's guilt ridden. And she was with a toy boy.
No!
Oh yes, a Greek god with a six-pack.
Greek God!
And I heard her call him daddy. I don't want to
She
ruin
called
it.
him daddy?
She called him daddy.
Wait, Greek God with a six-pack?
You know what she said?
Greek God!
That's what you know what she said? Don't worry, you won't know the ring's missing. I said, how could you do it? I said, how could...
Okay, guys.
Wow, what a great opponent I have for my final match of the night. Wonder
we've watched
Waffle
this.
407. I'm sure he's been looking forward to this with his Wonder Waffles. Almost 12,000 point Bison. See how he does.
Who will come out on top? Fight! Fight is officially played.
What the hell? Fuck you. He's horrible. He is terrible. Absolutely awful. I love it. Online play. Only the shitty may apply. Can't do anything. I was pressing buttons. I was actually trying to throw, so I didn't get a tech and I didn't get a fucking throw. I got nothing. The entire round was because I couldn't fucking do any moves online. Wow, dude. He didn't get one legitimate hit. Can't block. Tried to block, he jumped back. Look at this. I can't do anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting hit. I'm blocking. Oh my god. I did absolutely nothing half that time and still got hit. I was holding back the block. He's jumping. I try to fucking do nothing. He does stuff. Unbelievable. Double perfect. This is online play. This is what you want to see. This is amazing, the level of quality of this online play. Now, it's funny how the first round I beat his ass, and all of a sudden the second and third rounds, none of my moves happen or work. No blocking, no special attacks. Notice that, right? How that's funny? That's called cheating, and that's what everyone does online, which is why you shouldn't fucking play online. Yet you keep asking for me to do it, so I gotta do what my fans want, so hope you enjoyed this real shit-fest session I had tonight.
He's mad. Okay. Before we begin,
And you're gonna want to wash the taste of my dick out of your mouth.
I already know that JF is going to make a video defending every single thing Stefan says in here. Don't link it to me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear about it. So, our best friend, Stefan Molly meme. JF is not making videos anymore? Wait, why not? Our best friend, Stefan Molly meme, released a book called The Art of the Argument. Western Civilization's Last Stand. So I debated like maybe buying the book and going through it, kind of like I did with Lauren's book, to point out some bullshit. But I kind of like skimmed a little. Like I'm looking at like the table of context and shit, right? We've got deductive reasoning, you know, different. I thought like just in kind of like looking at this, I kind of figured that this was going to be like kind of like an intro philosophy book, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So there's nothing bad, or I don't care, right? That's cool. He made like an intro to philosophy book. Is kind of what I assumed. But I've seen excerpts posted, and it really makes me wonder if I don't know if he has, I don't know anything about this guy, because he gets wrong. Like, I never even took a high school philosophy class. The only things I've learned are what I've been linked to on wikis and what I've read and learned on stream. Does he even have a BA or anything? And received a BA in history. Did he ever take like a philosophy 101? Like some of the stuff that he writes in this book, I haven't even gone through it. I've only looked at like 2 different parts. Is like hilariously stupid. Like just bad. Like, I don't know. This is one of the things that I was linked to. I thought that this was kind of funny. So, I don't know. Let's just jump down. Let's read a little.
PEYPO thank.
Examples of bad deductive reasoning. Consider the example. Premise 1. All plumbers can swim. Premise 2. Bob knows how to swim. Conclusion. Therefore, Bob is a plumber. So this is a very basic syllogism. I imagine in most Philosophy 101 classes, I think that you would get an example like this, and then the teacher would speak about how, I don't know the formulas that you do like in philosophy, like the A, B, C, or whatever shit, but like you can see that this statement logically falls apart for an easy reason, right? Just because all plumbers can swim doesn't mean that all people who know how to swim are plumbers. So just because Bob knows how to swim does not mean it logically follows that Bob is a plumber, right? That's how you would like attack this syllogism, right? How this syllogism would be irrational. I want to be very careful with my words because we're speaking philosophy, right? Or invalid. I'm sorry, invalid even is what this. Regardless of the soundness of the argument, this argument right here is invalid, right? So let's see how he addresses this. Okay. So this isn't philosophy, it's logic. You learn logic in philosophy, right? It's a big part of philosophy. So hopefully, the above argument produces a spark of intellectual short-circuiting in your brain, since it goes wrong in so many ways. Okay, interesting. I mean, I thought okay. Of course, not all plumbers can swim, so why bother reading further? Why are we talking about attacking a kind of a subjective part of a premise in this example? Why aren't we just talking about the syllogism itself? Why are we speaking to the trueness of a premise? Like the argument in and of itself is invalid. Why would we even go into this? Of course, not everyone who knows how to swim is a plumber. The only thing that could be provisionally valid is the proposition that Bob knows how to swim. Does this seem crazy? It is actually more common than you think. Wait, so we didn't actually break down this argument at all? What? We have like 2 very weird attacks to like premises listed in the argument, but we didn't actually break down why this was a bad argument. Like, I don't understand what this is at all. And then our next example is, kind people are socialists. Bob is a kind person. Therefore, Bob is a socialist. Okay, ignoring the fact that we just jumped into socialism, these 2 arguments are very different, because this argument here, this is a valid argument. Now, it might not be a sound argument because kind people are socialists. That's a premise that one could challenge, right? And if you challenge a premise and the premise turns out to be false instead of true, then we can argue that even though the argument itself is valid, it is unsound, right? Because this premise is false. That's totally different than this. This, even if the premise were true, the argument itself is invalid. Why would you use these two? This is very, very, very basic stuff, right? This is very, very basic stuff. Why would you use these in the same example and then not even speak about why this argument here is invalid? What? And then we go hardcore into politics. Kind people support the welfare state. Bob is a kind person. Therefore, Bob supports the welfare state. Well, okay, that's another valid argument. Now, you could argue that it's unsound because not all kind people support the welfare state, but what are we even talking about anymore? Like, but then, because after reading this, because then I had to scroll, because after going, like, it's so funny because he was, does any of this sound familiar? If it doesn't, you probably haven't spent much time arguing for freedom in the public sphere. It's easy to see how ridiculous these arguments are when broken down into syllogisms, but it is amazing how endlessly these fallacies are replicated in political conversation. Well, but you don't, what are we even talking about right now? What? Are we attacking the validity of the arguments? Are we attacking the soundness of the arguments? Are we even talking about philosophy at this point? Or are we moving on to a totally different conversation? Because if we want to challenge the premise that all kind people are socialists, well, that's like a totally different discussion. We're not talking about, we're not really talking about like fundamental philosophy, fundamental logic at this point. Now we're moving into a totally different realm of morals and ethics. Like, this is a totally different thing. What are we talking about? But the funny thing is that, I'm sorry, I skimmed through this. Where did I find this section? Okay, so the difference between logical and true. An argument may be logical. The conclusion follows from the premises, but still be false if the premises are wrong. Okay, I'm fully admitting that I do not have a formal background in philosophy. When I say that, I mean I didn't even take a high school class on it. So all I've gathered is from what I've read and talked to with people. Do people say logical and true when talking to an argument? I've never heard this before. I've heard valid and sound. These are the two big words that I hear when describing an argument. So here's the argument that he gives. All men are immortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore, Socrates is immortal. So the way that I would hear this statement described is, this statement is valid, okay, because it is internally consistent. If the two premises are true, the conclusion logically follows. However, it's not sound because the premise is false. All men are immortal. That's untrue. That is an untrue premise. So the statement is not sound. The syllogism is unsound. But then he says in the next statement, then the structure remains logically sound. What is he talking about? He writes a book on philosophy, but like even like the really basic, really elementary, like fundamental shit is not true. What is his background? Does he not have, like, why would you use the word sound here when this argument is unsound as like a synonym for something else? And the super ironic thing is that I think like the next part has to do with synonym logic. When two terms are introduced that seem different but turn out to be the same. I don't even know. And he talks about how like people use different words, but they don't actually mean what they say. Like, what the fuck? Did I buy this book? No, this is just in the free part. I think he means that No. So unfortunately, we can't play the JF game that JF does with Sargon in terms of, well, what does he mean? Well, what does he mean? Because philosophy is pretty rigorous in terms of semantics, right? If you were ever going to be pedantic in any field, it would be philosophy, right? I don't think that you're allowed to say, I don't think you get away with saying something is logically sound when by philosophical definition, your argument is not sound. Like, I don't understand how he can be so fucked. Like, holy shit. What is the definition of sound? So an argument is valid if it is internally consistent. Here is an example of a valid argument, okay? Every single thing that is gray is a cat. This lens cap is gray. Therefore, this lens cap is a cat, okay? That is a valid argument, okay? Because we've established two premises, and if you follow those to their logical conclusion, you get the conclusion, and it's internally valid. However, the argument is not sound because the premise that all things that are gray are cats is untrue, right? So even though we have a valid argument, the argument is not sound. Does that make sense? It's because he just casually redefined sound as true. Yeah, he's like not using any of the the words that. So now I kind of want to buy the book and just read it all. I don't know. He tries to redefine sound as valid. Yeah, I know. He's just like using words. Like pirate it? Well, apparently it's free, but what's the point of sound in philosophy? Why not just use valid all the time? Because they're different things, because they're different qualifiers. And they mean different things. I'm trying to what's an example of like a valid argument that you would use? Can an argument be sound and not valid? Hold on. I'm not sure if a valid argument still have a false conclusion. When we construct our argument, we must aim to construct one that is not only valid but sound. A sound argument is one that's not only valid. Okay, so every sound argument is valid, but not every valid is sound, right? Is that true? Or hold on. Can somebody give me an example of a sound argument that's not valid? A deductive argument is sound if and only if it is both valid and all of its premises are actually true. Okay, so that must be
You're
valid.
just mad because he isn't like all of the other philosophers.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
He tells it like it is.
Wait, so some people that say that an argument can be sound and not valid, can you give me an example? I know you can be valid but not sound, but I don't think you could be sound but not valid, right? Okay, alright, never mind. Do you see the difference? Of course. How many times do you think he says of course in this book? Of course, of course, of course, of course. The conclusion is the juiciest part of the argument. Philosophy's money shot, so to speak. Do I like Stefan Molyneux? No, I think he's an idiot. But a more dangerous kind of idiot because he's way more confident and he sells himself even more than Sargon does, as being like some bastion of intellect. But he's totally dishonest and stupid. I hate him. Oh my god. All right. Look at this guy. Look at how mad he is that his win rate is 33% in fucking in ladder. How mad is he? He's literally a cult leader. Yeah, I've heard some stuff that's like... I don't know how much of this is true, though. Oh my god, hold on. I'm pretty sure Bad Philosophy has like a very SRS heavy lean, so... But like, what, is this like a fan site? On September 24th, 1966, a baby boy was born. He was named Stefan. This little boy would suffer unimaginable child abuse at the hands of his family, but it would be worth it. For little did this boy know that he would go on to be the greatest philosopher that had ever existed. He would succeed where others had failed. He would live his values, though the heavens may fall, ridding himself of all hypocrisy. Were it not for Stefan Molyneux, we may have had to wait yet another 2,500 years for a philosopher capable of advancing the human condition. I don't think he wrote this. I think this is like a fan site for him. Or did he write this? To deFOO simply means to dissociate from and ostracize your family of origin. FOO is an acronym used in the psychological community. It stands for family of origin. This is made through association. Free Domain Radio is his site. He owns it. This is why people call him a cult leader, is because of this deFOO stuff, because he encourages people to like break away from their Wait. By continuing to associate with an abusive/corrupt family of origin, you are also corrupt, particularly if you are an anarchist or respect the non-aggression principle. In the same way that having an abusive spouse is unhealthy, continuing to see abusive parents is also unhealthy. Huge sections of the anarcho-capitalist community are enraged. Is that a real word? Enraged at the thought of actually living their values. I think they meant to say enraged, right? Oh, enraged? Is this a word? Oh, Urban Dictionary. Okay. Molyneux's position on deFOOing hasn't changed. He and his wife, Christina Papadopoulos, went through a painful deFOO of their parental and sibling relationships. deFOOing was one of the primary topics of Free Domain Radio in the early days. Though as Molyneux's audience has grown, he has had to be less forward about his position on associating with abusive parents. It is a highly volatile topic. Most listeners do not have the moral courage to deFOO from clearly corrupt parents. Rather than accept their moral hypocrisy, these listeners will fog and avoid thinking about the topic. There was a time when Stefan Molyneux would call them out on this, insisting that they acknowledge their hypocrisy. That day is long past. Molyneux's primary goal is the spreading of peaceful parenting in the world. If avoiding pushing the issue of deFOOing will keep more people listening and spreading peaceful parenting, he would consider that a necessary compromise. Reasons you should defoo. If your parents have circumcised you, if your parents have assaulted you, including spanking, slapping, pinching, hitting with implements, if your parents yelled / were verbally abusive to you or others in the home, if your parents threatened to abandon you if you didn't do what they asked, if your parents are irrational / hold religious beliefs and taught them to you as if they were fact, if you were sexually molested / abused by anyone while under your parents' care, they are responsible for not protecting you. If you did not tell them and they didn't notice, this is even worse. If your parents did not follow the moral rules they taught you, if your parents do / did not respect your feelings or try to manipulate your feelings, if your parents have broken agreements they made with you,
I'm on to you.
if your parents don't listen to you or are not interested in what you have to say, if your parents associate with corrupt people and or expect you to associate with corrupt people. I think Molyneux may not be that bright, but I must admit he's one of the best speakers I know of. He's incredibly talented in that one specific field. Yeah, him and Shapiro. I don't like to mention him and Shapiro together, though. I think Shapiro is a pretty bright guy. I just think he says a lot of things that are kind of dumb. But this guy is fucking crazy. I wouldn't say Shapiro is fucking crazy. I just think he's got a big of a boner hard on for that libertarian shit. He banned Draven and they banned Zaya, and then he picked Trist. Okay, I'm good with that. I don't need to get sniped in my first game of the day. Thanks. Compare Stefan Molyneux with Paul Joseph Watson? Yeah, Paul Joseph Watson is fucking crazy. Sure, he would rank up with Molyneux probably. Is it possible for you to briefly elaborate on what you don't like about him more specifically? I mean, we went over some specific passages in his book. Wait, about Molyneux? I think, fuck, I don't know. We would have to go over, like, specific videos. It just seems in general like he's just not a very rational person, but you want specifics. The wage gap, this will probably be, like, a decent video. We listened to this before?
Hi, everybody. Stefan Molyneux from...
Oh, I think we have listened to this before. I don't know. Let's just find a random video we can listen for a few minutes.
Hi, everybody. Stefan.
Shh, shut the fuck up. The message you need to hear right now. An important voice, healing America. I think before I had to listen to his 3-part thing on determinism, which was fucking cringe as fuck. But
hey, everybody.
All right, let's listen to a little bit of this.
Stefan Molyneux, hope you're doing well. Going to talk a little bit about one of the most influential political philosophers of the modern period, John Locke.
All right, never mind. I don't know anything about this. Oh, he did an interview with this Google guy. All right, we'll just start with this first video, I guess.
Stefan Molyneux, am I wrong, or have we reached, I believe...
Oh, I didn't know he was on the guy's show. Holy shit. All right, never mind. Announcement. Why they want to shut down free speech. Okay, sure, let's go this.
So we really need to talk...
Oh, yeah, actually, we'll watch a Trump video. How about that? That's what I'm most familiar with. The untruth about Donald Trump. 1 year ago.
Hi, everybody. This is Stefan Molyneux from Freedom Radio. Hope you're doing well. So, Simon Malloy from Ceylon, quote, "There's still no actual reason to pay attention to Trump."
Ah, fuck. This is like 2 years ago almost. January 18th.
Hi, everybody. Stefan.
Black Trump supporter.
Hi, everybody. Stefan Molyneux from Freedom Radio here with RC Mac.
This is an interview. Fuck. Can I just listen to you talk? President Trump's RAISE Act immigration reform.
Hi, everybody. Stefan Molyneux from Freedom Radio. Looks like the mother of all bombs has been dropped by the Trump administration on the immigration debate. And the act is called the RAISE Act, Reforming American Immigration for a Strong Economy. act, and it has some really astounding proposals given the sort of post-Immigration Act of 1965 immigration pattern of endless waves of low-skilled workers coming in from the third world, pouring into America, and either ending up competing with low-skilled American workers for jobs or ending up on welfare and thus destroying the economy of the country through massive amounts of stimulus spending. Now, this is a battle between the workers and the capitalists, to use some familiar nomenclature. And it used to be, so once upon a time, way back in the day, my children, once upon a time, the Democrats used to be left-leaning and therefore pro-workers against employers, pro-workers against capitalists. Now, the captains of industry at the moment, this is not capitalism, but capitalism, which is crony capitalism, which is where capitalists or those who own the means of production use the power of the state.
Wait, is he implying that Democrats no longer side with the workers and Republicans do? Was that what he was implying there?
To keep competition at bay, to encourage licensing of everyone, like a third of American workers now need licenses from the government to ply their trade. Ooh, but it's such a free market, everyone. And they also use it to make sure, through the power of the state, that they're in the dominant position when it comes to bargaining. So what's been happening since 1965, for like 50-odd years, is that all of these low-rent, low-wage, low-skilled workers have been pouring in from the third world into America, thus harming the most economically vulnerable. In other words, those who, because of crappy government education, have grown up with very little to offer an employer. I can barely read, can barely write, and very little discipline. And maybe they come from welfare families, like 20% of American families. Not one person is working, and it doesn't take long for those job skills to be lost intergenerationally. So when you have low-skilled workers in America competing with low-skilled immigrants coming in from the third world, they drive down their wages, right? Oversupply, drive down wages. Now the capitalists love this, the capitalists, because that way they're in a dominant position when it comes to negotiations, right?
He's an anarcho, dude? That means he hates capitalism too, right? I think.
It's like, oh, if I'm not going to hire you, I'm going to hire Abdullah from Somalia, and therefore you can't ask for much. What this does is it harms the poorest in America. It harms, in particular, black communities and Hispanic communities and other communities that are struggling economically. I'm not going to say minorities because that puts in, East Asians, the Orientals, Ashkenazi Jews, they're all minorities, but because they've got very high IQ, very good cultures for work ethics and so on, they end up doing economically better even than whites in, quote, white countries. So this is what the act
because they have very high IQ. How about the fact that if somebody moves from China to the fucking United States, you're probably selecting from a very small group of people, right? If you're moving from China to the United States, you probably are already, one, coming here for good education, two, have parents that have a good education, three, have parents that are already really financially well, but we can pretend it's just because they're high IQ. Okay, buddy.
Means by saying that to spur economic growth, help raise working Americans' wages, because it is really desperate.
Also, whether or not immigrants actually hurt the wages of natives is still like a very, very, very hotly contested topic. There's plenty of research that goes both ways on this. It's a very difficult thing to pin down. It's very hard to study this accurately, and even people that are on the anti-immigration side admit that it's very hard to find like very accurate numbers, right? I think Borjas estimates anywhere from like 2 to 4% of wages of low-skill high school dropout workers can be impacted by immigrants. But I like how he just states all of it as fact, but okay. Without giving any specific numbers or talking anything or something. Okay.
Really terrible in those communities when you have this immigration pouring in. And I think it's fascinating. Some really, really fascinating other things that are well worth unpacking here. I'll try to go through this fairly rapidly. It's really, really important stuff to have and to understand. So one of the things that the proposed RAISE Act is going to do is establish a skills-based points system. So right now in America, there's a permanent employment visa system, and it's going to be replaced with a skills-based points system. Now, one can almost hear the cry of the leftist who wishes to mate with the state. It's going to be racist, 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 and racist. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. If you have the impulse to cry racism when we're talking about a skills-based immigration system into America, I have one question for you. Have you ever described Canada and Australia, or Canadian and Australian immigration systems as racist? Why not? This points-based system is exactly what has been in place in Canada and Australia for many, many years. So you can't just...
This whataboutism is not a rational argument. We're not Canada and we're not Australia. Why would you bring up those countries when discussing American immigration policy? That's just irrational. I don't know why he would bring that up, but okay.
Suddenly scream racism if you've not been fighting hard against your supposed racist description of the Canadian and Australian immigration system.
Okay.
Come on. Everybody knows it. Racism just means we want to import people who are going to vote for the left. I get it. The racist. What's a racist? Who's a racist? Anybody who's won an argument with the left is a racist. We all know that, how that works. And it's interesting, too.
That's a nice dismissal of every single legitimate argument against your side, is to just say that they all cry racist, but okay. That's easier than dealing with actual arguments, I guess.
Because if you're going to say that requiring skilled and intelligent and educated immigrants is racist, are you saying that other races can't be skilled and educated and valuable to the economy?
No, that's not the argument at all. The argument is that... Okay, we'll talk about this. A lot of people on the right don't seem to understand this, and I understand because sometimes like doing the homework is really difficult, but we'll talk about law, okay? Because this is something that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Not law itself, but this particular argument, right? There are 3 different racism checks that you can make on a particular piece of legislation, and any 3 of these can make the legislation racist, right? We can go for voter ID for this, right? So the letter of the law, the intention of the law can be racist, the letter of the law can be racist, and the actual effect of the law can be racist. Even if the first 2, even if a law is passed with good intent and the letter of the law itself isn't racist, if it has a massively disproportionate impact on one group of people, that law could still be struck down in the Supreme Court as a racist law because it disproportionately impacts a certain group of people. Saying that a certain law will disproportionately impact a certain group of people doesn't make you the real racist, right? That's always like a really stupid juvenile argument that like righties always like to make. You're the real racist, right? If we were to implement, for instance, Let me give you an example. Let's say, wow, I only want smart people voting in the United States. Let's go ahead and implement some sort of educational requirement in order to make it so that you have to be like you have to be a BA. You have to have a BA. You got to have a 4-year degree in order to vote in the U.S. Well, if we did that, that law would likely get struck down as racist because a disproportionate amount of white people go to school compared to other minority groups, right? You would be cutting off Hispanics and black people. Even if your intention was good, and even if the letter of the law never mentioned race, if the actual implementation of the law ended up disproportionately impacting certain races of people, that law could still get struck down as racist, right? But I guess like reading, even like this takes like 2 seconds to understand, but I guess he doesn't care about this, but okay.
Intelligent and educated immigrants is racist. Are you saying that other races can't be skilled and educated and valuable to the economy? That seems kind of racist to me. If that is
You're the real racist.
Can other races or cultures or ethnicities not meet these criteria of being skilled? Why not? Because it's funny,
And he's so smug about it too. While simultaneously not understanding the argument and then giving shitty rebuttals, he's so smug about it at the same time. God, I hate this guy.
When everybody screams racism at this stuff, here's the argument put forward. We want smart people. Now, if the leftists are really upset, why? Why? We want smart people coming into America. That's terrible. Because if you only want smart people, that's going to discriminate against supporters of Democrats. Future supporters of Democrats can't be smart.
So now we take the Rush Limbaugh route. Really, leftists only want immigration because they're trying to bring in more liberal voters. Okay, there we go. There we go.
We have to bring in the less smart people so they'll vote Democrat. I think that may be a little bit obvious even for the left. So yeah, the system, this proposed system, is going to prioritize immigrants who are the best position to succeed in the United States to help grow the economy such as it is at the moment. So you're going to get points if you want to come to America based on things like your education, can you speak English, can you get a high-paying job, do you have a high-paying job offer, are you not 80, right? 80, and about to contribute massive amounts of money and value and talent and skill to the American economy. Do you have a record of extraordinary achievement? Have you been a capitalist in a modern academic setting? Do you have a history of entrepreneurial initiative? Basically, America is the hot woman, the selective hirer who can comb through resumes and pick and choose the best. Now, the English language ability, of course, everyone's going to scream, racism, despite the fact that, as Mark Stein has recently pointed out, there are 60 countries which have English as their official language. So the idea that it's just going to be sunlight challenged pasties from England is not realistic, not factual. But of course, why let facts get in the way of a good rescreen? So
why let facts get in the way of anything? Amen, my dude.
And the other thing too, like prioritizing English makes it fair for people who are Americans, who are domestic Americans, to compete in the job market. Like if you allow a bunch of people to come in, and you end up with a Spanish-speaking enclave.
How do we feel about a national language? I've never heard good arguments against it. I feel like that there's. I don't think the United States has a national language, do we? I feel like there should be one, but I don't know. I haven't heard good things. All the arguments that I hear against it usually revolve around culture, which I usually don't like. So I don't know.
Let's just pretend that could happen. You end up with a Spanish-speaking enclave in America. Well, then what happens is.
What's the point for it? Just easier integration of everything.
You get a job at McDonald's and you don't speak Spanish, you're not going to get that job. So if you allow lots of people pouring in who don't speak English, it puts the native population, the American population, at a huge disadvantage for getting work, which just stokes the fire of ethnic resentment and hostility. And I mean, it's bad. And why bother? Because like freedom is written in English in general, for the most part, right? I mean, there's some exceptions and some French and so on.
Did he just say freedom is written in English? I'm sorry, hold on.
And hostility, and I mean, it's bad. And why bother? Because like freedom is written in English in general, for the most part, right? I mean, there's some exceptions and some French and so on, one book in German, but for the most part, sort of separation of church and state, free market, free economy, all this kind of stuff, equal rights, that's all English, in English. And I'm sure, you can translate it and so on, but in general, that is the language.
Wait, what is this argument? Wait, does this mean that we should all learn Greek or Latin? Because what? I'm sorry, I have to listen to this again. I'll unslow it down. I'm sorry, I can't be hearing this right. I think I'm going between my chats too much. I can't possibly be hearing this correctly.
To the American population at a huge disadvantage for getting work, which just stokes the fire of ethnic resentment and hostility. And I mean, it's bad. And why bother? Because like freedom is written in English in general, for the most part, right? I mean, there's some exceptions and some French and so on, one book in German, but for the most part, sort of separation of church and state, free market, free economy, all this kind of stuff, equal rights, that's all English in English. And I'm sure, you can translate it and so on, but in general, that is the language of freedom. So it's not ridiculous to ask. And the other thing too.
Okay, all right. Let's back to the hyper mode. Let's go, buddy.
When French became the second official language in Canada, what happened was you had to speak French to succeed in public life, particularly at the high levels. And so what it did was it just...
Wait, is that true? I thought Trudeau was like a rare exception, that he was actually a leader that spoke both French and English. Does every high-level French politician speak both French and English? Is that true?
Huge advantage in the laps of people who grew up in Quebec, the French-speaking province, which meant that people in Quebec dominated Canadian politics, which provoked a huge amount of resentment and caused massive amounts of problems from Pierre Elliott Trudeau onwards. Maybe there might be another Trudeau in the mix. I can't quite recall at the moment. So now the other thing that's important in the RAISE Act is this chain migration. You know, like if you meet a girl, she's a great girl, you want to marry her, and then she says, okay, you can marry me, but we're going to live in the house with 300 of my closest relatives. You might be like, well, I can choose you. I'm not so sure that I particularly want to, rub face to belly with creepy Uncle Charlie as well, right? So this idea that America's going to choose immigrants, but not everyone that their DNA has ever touched over the past 100,000 years is important. So it's going to retain immigration preferences for the spouses and minor children of U.S. citizens, legal permanent residents, but not extended family members. Because, I mean, this happens, right? The grandfather gets ill, and let's bring him in, and then let's put him on the semi-socialized, or in most countries, socialized healthcare system. And I got to tell you, compassion and all being important, but if I'm at a hospital and I see a bunch of elderly foreigners who can't speak English lining up for expensive treatments, I do think that that's a little bit less money that I have for my child's education. Just theoretically, does not create a huge amount of warm and fuzzy. So. Now, the diversity visa lottery, fraud, corruption, it doesn't really advance any economic or humanitarian goals or interests, and it doesn't even, in fact, promote diversity for reasons that you can look into on your own. So there are 50,000 visas that are kind of randomly allocated to this random lottery, and that's going to be eliminated. I don't know, just randomness? What are you just going to, you put your Tinder on random spin and then just marry whoever it lands on. Hey, guy with forehead tattoo.
Why are we comparing taking on an immigrant to fucking marriage? Well, this is probably not like the best type of comparison, but okay.
Let's go make a family. That's not the way that I think that sensible people want to run any kind of immigration policy. Now, refugees, huge problem with refugees. I mean, you name it, there are problems with refugees, but there's going to be a limit on permanent residency for refugees. So it's going to be capped at 50,000 a year. Remember, this is all just proposed, right? I mean, if you want this to go through, get out there and talk to people and make some waves. So 50,000 a year, that's been about the 13-year average for the United States. But first of all, who knows who is a refugee? Who knows who? I mean, America, as most countries, have lost, I don't even know how many passports or other official documents that are easily forged and so on. So who knows? Oh, I lost my paperwork, but I'm a refugee. What are you supposed to do? I mean, 1%, sometimes even less, but hovering around 1% of the people pouring into Italy are actual refugees. And it just creates this mess. And this is immigration.
Okay, I don't care anyway. All right, I don't remember what the original question was. Listen, I just don't think Molyneux offers anything valuable. I don't think he gives any good insight into anything. A lot of the arguments he makes are non sequitur. A lot of the stuff he says is just kind of wrong. A lot of what he says is not even wrong. It's just like totally bizarro random. I think from the little bit that I know and from what I've listened to him, like most of his musings on philosophy are really bad and really stupid. His book seems to go a step further in proving that he doesn't even have like a really fundamental understanding of what philosophy is. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just don't really like him, I'm sorry. This one. Okay, what are we doing? Ash Annie with Ignite. Be careful. Should I have dodged this game? We have a Quinn top. J4 jungle is good. Talon. We've got a lot of assassins, but they don't have a front line at all. They've got a top Kayn. Okay, so I would be really worried if they had a really big team, but they don't. Like a big frontline team. Come down here. Oh. He's coming back right away. These guys are looking for a kill level 2. This is way too much damage. We're fucked, dude. God damn it. Yeah, we're fucked. It's a remake? It's not. He bought items. Didn't you compare stream sniping to rape? You're not the most philosophical person. Wait, what? Yeah, I might have. What was off in my comparison? Are you fucking kidding me? Got her? Oh no. What the fuck? That guy was DC'd and comes back and just casually gets first blood? Oof. Nice. They overextended really hard. They got way too greedy looking for these kills. That's really good. It was a good gank. I'm gonna sit here for a long time. This is really painful. Fuck. Nice. Okay. Ash is trying to freeze the lane, so. Make sure Annie doesn't pull up the wave there, by the way. Walk it in. Traxie? I didn't see where the jungler was. I was really, really low with no summoners. Fuck that. That's too spooky. Germany's crime rate skyrocketed over 2,100%? What? Why, hello there, Talon. Should have went for Annie here. Oh my god, the creep block. Fuck, I just walked back to lane and got dumpstered for that. You had J4 with you in River? Yeah, but like it would only take like one spell and I would be like dead. I don't know, I just didn't think it was worth it. Or like a flash and then they get out and kill me for free, like, why risk it? I don't know, I don't think it was worth risking that. Da-na-na. I feel like the Ashe arrows, is it her Q? I don't know what it is. I feel like it has the most generous hitbox in the game. I feel like it's almost more generous than Bard's Q. Nice. Not nice. Okay, good word, thank you. What? Why? Okay, it's okay. That was an accident. I think they're gonna beat us to 6. I don't know. When they hit 6, they're gonna try to go for kills though, for sure. Oh, that Annie might have backed, actually. Nope. Wait, whose is that? Fuck. Oh my god. I don't have the mana. No mana! I shouldn't have R'd. I should have just E'd. I would have killed her. Do I want to buy an 8-minute coal? Probably not. I don't think so. I'll wait for this.
An enemy has been slain.
What? That was a huge... Oh, never mind. Nice. Good job.
Once magic was everywhere, or as the Messiah say, before sight. Arvestein essence fades with each passing day.
Okay, I'm gonna push this, and then we're gonna go fight over that ward. I think I'm dead. Fuck me, dude. What an obnoxious fucking lane. I'll go back and get mana, I guess. Why would you move out from where we had vision? Why? Why? Like, this is pink. They didn't know you were there. I'm not going over there. Good luck. Good luck, dude. It's all you. So fucking stupid, dude. Yeah, you guys have fun with that shit. Fuck that shit. Why not just sit in the bush and take the easy free kill? Like, it's pink, she has no vision. Why do all this shit? I don't understand.
An ally has been slain.
Whatever, dude. Ash missed a lot of CS. Got like a 20 lead now. Or well, more than that even.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Okay.
Bored now.
They have.
They say I don't know.
No. Oof, I love all these assists.
I'm going now. Where? Anywhere not here. That's where.
Kane and Yi, I think, demands Tabby, probably.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice job.
I will rest when our homelands are restored. Quit crying.
Well skilled, dude.
An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your turret has been destroyed.
Talking to people makes me want to stab them.
Oh man, you're so brave, dude.
All women desire the con. Like they know what to do with it. Victories are the sole authors of history. Time to write our
This map is super dark. I usually buy, I'm liking Phantom Dancer a lot now just because it's got that big damage reduction and also just a lot of attack speed. I really like it, I don't know. So the guy that I play with always like shits on Quinn, and I'm always like hesitant because I don't know, when I see Quinn in games, they usually do like really well. I don't know. It seems like this one's doing well as well. Can't. This guy is so unkillable. Holy shit. He's not even like fed or anything. I even hit him with my E and healed. I guess he's got a 1 level advantage on me, so that means he just gets to totally shit in my face, like in 1v1s? I don't know. Okay. Do I dodge his damage with my R when I ult like that too? Or does it still damage me? It still does damage to you? Oh, nice. One, two, three mid. I think Ash was coming down here. One, two, three, four. Nope. I think I'm gonna take this turret. Oh, nope. Never mind. Fuck that dude's coming down. Yep.
Feather daggers.
Quinn falls off super hard like Pantheon. It just feels like Quinn just works like every other assassin. Like every assassin falls off, but only if the enemy team has like a big front line, right? Like I think in this kind of a game, look where they've got like Yi, this guy in blue form, Echo, Ashe, Annie, like I think Quinn can still make catches and shit, no? What the fuck is this shit on the map? Oh my god. Oh, nice. Why am I over here? Guy can come through the wall and kill me. Quinn should be able to catch you now. It shouldn't be warded, I don't think. Fuck, I don't need to heal him. slows.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You don't think we can kill him? Okay, my bad. Okay. I thought we could blow that dude up and then it would just be 2v2. Never mind. Like Annie, but 2 more people? Annie's ult was down. Okay, I don't agree, but okay. How about this guy? This enemy team is gonna have like no armor. I think I could actually get by with a defensive item this game. Do you think I could do like a Randuin's? Oh, this dude is so dead. Fuck. Phil's dead, man. Shouldn't have been there without everybody. I mean, they don't either. He is not responding at all, so this isn't worded. If we actually got this, it would be so good. That's pretty good. As long as Quinn can 1v1 Yi, we're good. Oh no. This guy is retardedly strong. Holy shit! Oh, that was an ace though? He's not even like ultra fed, he's just so powerful. Holy shit. Bum 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 bum. Not good. Is this where we lose the game? Because a bunch of people start dying one at a time?
Hate surprises. Unless I'm doing the surprising. Such a simple.
Okay. Nice. Oh shit. Just casually CSing. I can't.
An ally has been slain.
Bored now.
Has been destroyed.
I'll do whatever needs to be done. Twice. Just to be sure.
I think I will random this game because this is like the only dude that can hurt me.
Sabotage takes patience and tolerance, and lots of feather daggers.
Oh my god, if Quinn gets that kill, that's really good. Wow, that Banshees is so fucking annoying for Annie.
I'll do whatever needs to be done. Twice. Just to be sure.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Quinn, 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 top! Oh my god, I just eat in the wrong order. You can't lose this duel! We might have just lost the game. Oh no, Quinn! Why are you pinging that? Don't run right up to him! Oh my, whatever. Oh, maybe he's got it. Whiffs every spell. Oh no. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Oh. We have to... Can we do it though with Yi? I don't know if we actually can.
I really hate anyone who's not me. Or Rakan.
You can't solo Baron, right? What are you doing? Okay, back after. Together! Why, Quinn, why are you... Or not Quinn, Vel'Koz. Oh, I'm gonna die. Don't throw. What even hit me?
Compromise is so unsatisfying.
80 fucking... Oh, Jarvan, why? Okay.
I want to buy all the things.
That Yi has got so much fucking armor. My last item has to be IE. I have so much crit.
If our existence is everyone else's chaos, so be it.
That instant ult. That instant death.
Ionia's meddling birthed our rebellion.
I don't think... This seems dumb. Yep, and it is. All assassins that have all fallen off, and no real support. We didn't really get outscaled. I mean, their team doesn't have a front line either. We could have won this game though. Team Comm didn't determine who won this game. They're going back? Holy shit. Did she miss her ability on the guy that was standing still? Whatever. Maybe she was expecting him to dodge, I guess. He can't. Why are you pinging that? Just don't ping. Who pinged that? Whoever pinged that is not allowed to ping anymore, okay?
I really hate anyone who's not me.
Oh, that's not me, that's him. I can't deal. Oh. Why? Why do you do this? Just stop! Stop. Get some help. Oh, we're gonna...
Aced. Your turret has been destroyed.
So stupid. Why do like no damage this game? Wow. Can you please download a Korean or Japanese voice pack so we don't have to listen to this edgy champ? Whoa.
It had been a mixed morning, but James Lewis.
I think the judges will think that. And
what do you think?
I'm gonna say go down Moses.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down Moses, down Egypt land, and say Pharaoh, Pharaoh.
Draven out.
Yeah, this is whoop! Whoop! Yeah, this is whoop! Whoop! Ivy. We're really close. That sounded really. I saw the lightning on that one. That was really, really close. I've never seen lightning that close. Are you okay? Yeah. Ooh, it's still.
never resist an invitation to dance.
Calm down, man.
Look, there's a fucking hole too. That's fucked up.
I hate this guy. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but holy shit, I can't fucking stand him.
I'm gonna slap the hook's ass.
Okay. Why are you pushing me? I didn't do it. Huh?
Don't do that.
I didn't do it.
Yes, but that motherfucker.
I don't know. What the fuck?
Fucking.
Bro, that's not me. That's not me. The fuck? You guys, look at you guys all together. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's alright.
Pupa, my tie.
Dire structures are fortified.
He heard me say that he farts a lot. Wait. Hello. Hello. Radisti tu.
I rededicate my magic to the nest of thorns.
Budalo jedna. Alright. Sorry boys, let's...
I didn't see the new counterpoints video, no.
Excuse me. What about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right?
What about the alt-left? Oh my god.
Any semblance of guilt?
A local World War II veteran wants you to hear and see this next story because he's worried what he fought against so long ago is making a comeback here in the United States.
He believes what happened.
Scheiße. Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to recognize a fascist. To begin, let's take a look at what fascism is. Contemporary fascists share three core beliefs. 1. People of European heritage are or ought to constitute a biological, cultural, and political unity known as the white race, sometimes dog-whistled as Western culture.
Wait. Really? Fascism doesn't have white culture baked into the ideology, does it? Am I wrong on that?
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Does it? I didn't know that fascism, not to say that there haven't been fascists that are racist, but I didn't think that fascism itself had race built into the ideology. I think he's referring to modern fascists, I guess. Okay. Because this is what fascists believe, not... Okay, never mind. Sure.
Fascism is. Contemporary fascists share three core
Well, like
beliefs.
Nazism as an ideology has race built into it, right? But something like, say, like communism or like or fascism or authoritarianism, these things don't have race like built baked into the concept or whatever, right? We'll listen to this after. Why do I have an Alistar? That's cool. Nice. Oh, I love the undodgeable spells. So much fun. One more ticket. Not dead, not dead, not dead. Can't dodge branch shit without boots. It's pretty irritating. I can't even get a refill here. Nice.
Compromise is so unsatisfying.
One, people of European heritage are or ought to constitute a biological, cultural, and political unity known as the white race, sometimes dog-whistled as Western culture. 2. Jews are masterminding the destruction of the white race through multiculturalism and non-white immigration, a plot that fascists call white genocide or ethnic replacement. 3. The only way to save the white race is to establish a white homeland, or ethno-state, from which non-whites and degenerates must be purged. Now, as I've argued in past videos, all three of these beliefs are false. So what is it that's attracting people to fascism? Well, let's take a look at a contemporary Nazi propaganda video and see if we can figure that out.
Who are you? I'm not talking about your name or your occupation. I'm talking about something bigger.
Is this Richard Spencer? Whoa.
I'm talking about your connection to a culture, a history, and destiny. Our ancestors had a very strong sense of their identity. They could say,
no,
I'm a Roman, I'm a Saxon, I'm a Dane.
Good news, boys. You no longer have to be some schlubby fuck riding the escalator at IKEA, thinking about how much you hate your job as a marketing and communications associate, because the sun hath risen on the day wherein you take your father's claymore in hand and defend Voltaire and adorable blonde children against black civil rights. You know, just like the Vikings did.
We're often told that being an American, or a Briton or German or any European nationality, is about being dedicated to a collection of abstractions and buzzwords. Democracy, freedom, tolerance, multiculturalism. But a nation based on freedom is just another place to go shopping.
So, life is basically sad, and in capitalist society that sadness is a sense of isolation, an anxiety that there's nothing more to life than acquiring 1990s collector's edition Tampa Bay Buccaneers / Slim Jim beer steins until you die. Fortunately, thanks to fascism, you don't have to. Fascism promises you a part in something greater than yourself. A homeland.
This sounds like this literally sounds like ISIS propaganda. From the, or at least from the ISIS videos that I watched, like the recruitment tactics sound like very similar. You find a disenfranchised like Muslim person living in a disenfranchised Muslim person living in some place in Europe. You tell them they don't have a place or a purpose or anywhere where they belong, and then you try to connect them to some historical context to show them that there's actually something greater out there for them, and then you try to recruit them to go fucking jihad and fucking Mosul or some shit. Like that's literally like if you watch any of those videos, it's exactly what it was.
A sense of belonging to a tradition that stretches back thousands of years and as far into the future. Just be sure to be extra proud of the parts of your heritage that involve buying and selling other human beings as property. The most basic way to resist fascism is to recognize its propaganda for what it is. The idea that appreciating European culture is in some way linked to establishing a white ethno-state is just nonsense. Your enjoyment of Beethoven or white babies or whatever it is you get off to is in no way impeded by the proximity of people with different skin colors and traditions. And it certainly does not require nation, culture, and geographic ancestry to all become the same thing. But in order to recognize fascism, you need to do a lot more than reject the most overt propaganda. In the wake of the disastrous alt-right rally in Charlottesville earlier this month, the Nazis have been driven back into the shadows. At least 2 of their major websites were shut down, Confederate monuments were removed all over the country, and several prominent fascists have begun backpedaling. None of this means fascists will go away, it just means they'll have to be more subtle and indirect. Shortly after the Charlottesville rally, a post titled "Fixing the Alt-Right" appeared on Poll, the image board where millennial Nazis talk strategy and trade pictures of Japanese nymphets. The post outlines some basic fascist strategies.
Don't get trapped in an echo chamber where you can no longer relate to normies. Pretending that Charlottesville didn't massively push the average white person away is really stupid. We have a chance to actually make changes now that Trump has shifted the Overton window to the right, but we need to be smart and make the movement appealing to the average white person.
And the way to do that is...
disavow all Nazi/KKK edgelord LARPers. There is no way to lose public support quicker than going around making Nazi salutes and holding tiki torches while chanting "Jews will not replace us." This instantly makes the average person hate you.
Why does that do literally half your fucking life? Holy autism, dude.
Goals. Repealing the 1965 Immigration Act and replacing it with something that both limits total immigration and prioritizes white immigration is an actual, tangible political goal. Keep the long-term goals covert and don't ever reveal your power level. Talking openly about a white ethno-state only leads to failure and the average public turning against you. So disavow anyone who reveals his power level. Leftists will recognize dog whistles and know we're crypto, but normies won't listen to them.
So at first glance, this seems like a really silly, juvenile post that references Dragon Ball Z. But it actually displays a sense of realistic pragmatism and an incremental approach to long-term goals that I wish were more common on the left. But of course, the strategy described here isn't new. Older generations of white supremacists have been doing this stuff for decades. When overt racism is politically unacceptable, politicians have to use coded language in order to appeal to racists. Republican strategist Lee Atwater explained the technique in an interview in 1981.
You start out in 1954 by saying by 1968, you can't say that hurts you, backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. You get so abstract now that you're talking about cutting taxes and all these things that you're talking about are totally economic things. And a byproduct of them is that blacks get hurt worse than whites.
So if you want to recognize a fascist, you have to know how to read subtext and how to hear dog whistles, because 99 times out of 100, a fascist will disavow fascism, racism, and white supremacy, at least when talking to you, a non-fascist. Rallies with swastikas and Nazi salutes are the exception, not the rule. Fascists are more likely to gain traction and are hence more dangerous when they use subtler tactics. So for the rest of this video, I'll be describing the particular strategies that fascists use to code their ideas, and make them more palatable to conservatives, centrists, and liberals. Strategy 1. Outright denial. Never reveal your power level. Disavow anyone who reveals their power level. This means that if someone acts like a fascist, has fascist beliefs, repeats fascist talking points, and hangs out with other fascists, the fact that they publicly denounce fascism should be worth absolutely nothing to you, and shouldn't even enter into your consideration of whether they're a fascist. After all, "I'm not a fascist" is exactly what a fascist would say. Strategy 2. Euphemism. Of course I'm not a fascist. I'm an alternative ethno-nationalist, simply trying to preserve Western values. Fascists constantly shift their terminology in order to avoid the negative connotations that develop around the names of their movements whenever people figure out what they really are. So they insist they aren't Nazis or white supremacists, just white nationalists or alt-right. But as people catch on to the fact that white nationalists and the alt-right are just Nazis, they'll shift their terminology again and start telling you, "I'm not a white nationalist, I'm an identitarian," or whatever the next thing is. But it's still the same bastards, they're just using different names. They'll also use euphemisms for core components of their beliefs. If talking about preserving a homeland for white people sounds too fascist, they'll talk about preserving Western civilization or Western culture instead. If the phrase white genocide discredits them, they'll say ethnic replacement instead. And if it's considered hate speech, purging non-white people, they'll talk instead about purging immigrants, criminals, rapists, and terrorists.
Why was this worth it? Execute? Nope. Why are we diving with no life? What's the point? What are these boosted am I queuing with fucking goldies? What the fuck?
Hasn't existed since 1945. That's right, and I bet he's an isolationist too, not an expansionist like the Nazis. Fascists use this kind of selective pedantry to dodge derogatory labels, and also to bog you down in a petty terminological dispute. This is a good way to waste your time and divert your attention away from whatever led you to call them a Nazi in the first place. I'm not a white supremacist. I don't think that whites are superior to other races. I simply think we deserve a homeland of our own, as do all peoples. There it is again. And next he's going to tell us that since Asians have the highest IQs, he's, if anything, an Asian supremacist. And then you'll get sucked into arguing about IQ, instead of talking about the fact that the main goal of the politics he supports is the political and social supremacy of white people over all other Americans and Europeans. In other words, white supremacy. Strategy 4. Secret symbols. Nazis have always taken an interest in occult symbols, like the black sun on Fritz's ring, or like the swastika itself. But more obscure symbols can be useful as a kind of secret handshake that lets Nazis recognize each other without normies taking notice. The best symbols to use for this purpose are ones that are not primarily associated with fascism, or at least have some other meaning, such as the Athala rune or the Iron Cross. Better still are symbols that, until adopted by fascists, are completely innocuous. Modern fascists have taken to using almost arbitrary emoji as a way to wink and nod at each other, notably the frog, the milk, and the OK sign. So it doesn't matter what the
My face when he kills me anyway, because it's fucking brand.
Changed so that normies don't drop. By the time you watch this
Fucking
video, they probably
AIDS.
won't even be using the frog anymore. Maybe it'll be this, or this. The only way to find out is to
Good
watch
job, dude.
fascists carefully and see what symbols they use to identify themselves. And of course, another advantage of using innocuous symbols is that when leftists try to point those symbols out, the fascists can always say, "These gullible SJWs now think that even the OK sign is racist. Is there anything they don't think is racist?" And the gullible centrists will be taken right in. The poor centrists. They're so afraid that Antifa is going to punch them because of their hair or their emoji. And you know, some leftists are assholes or idiots. So I should say, you should never assume someone is a fascist just because of their hair or because of the emoji they use. These are only little pieces of a larger puzzle. But white centrists also need to understand that the way you feel about Antifa at political rallies, oh god, what if they profile me and attack me unfairly, that's how a lot of black people feel about the police all the time. And the fascists whose free speech you defend so often are trying to drum up exactly the sentiments that make the police dangerous to black people, and that make it dangerous for queer people to be themselves in public. So, I hope that's something you think about. Anyway, it's not that the OK sign is inherently racist or that anyone who uses it is racist, and in fact, it's its very innocuousness that makes it useful as a crypto-fascist wink and nudge. But the misunderstanding about calling these little things racist sets the stage for Strategy 5, Camaraderie of the Accused. The left accuses everyone of racism. They think all white people are Nazis. If it's acceptable to attack and censor me, they'll come for you next. Fascists have very effectively exploited the general hostility towards social justice warriors, especially online. Unfortunately, not all leftists have my connoisseur's eye for detecting fascism, and some of them do throw the label at centrists and liberals. This doesn't cause centrists to become allied with fascists. History shows that happens regardless, but it can accelerate the process, lending some plausibility to the fear that moderate centrists have that anti-fascists will come after them next. It's tactically smart for fascists to make the most of this situation and use it to pump up sympathy and solidarity from centrists. Strategy 6. Irony, jokes, satire, and memes. Of course I wasn't actually being racist. It was just an edgy meme. Can't anyone take a joke anymore, or will the Antifa fascists violently attack you over humor, too? Here's a uniquely millennial twist on the racist dog whistle. We shroud your sincere ideas in cartoon characters and memes, and then when called out, we mock your accuser for being a clueless normie who isn't in on the joke. Sometimes irony can be a safe way to explore ideas that you're not quite ready to own yet. Before I realized I was transgender, I used to jump at any opportunity to cross-dress, ironically. So when you see people joking about being Nazis, they could just be joking, or they could be using irony to partially conceal the truth. It's difficult to tell the difference, and that's the point. But Kekistan is just a satire of identity politics. Well, it's a hilarious satire of civil rights movements that just happens to use a Nazi battle flag. And while it may have been popularized originally by goddamn centrist YouTubers who are unable or unwilling to see how helpful...
Why? You're dead. Good luck, dude. Good luck.
The perfect pseudo-ironic pretext for, identitarians, including the ones who led the rally where an edgy shitposter hilariously memed his car into a crowd of people. No wonder the SPLC now describes it as a hate symbol. Those normie fools. It's just a joke. Strategy 7. Shifting blame. Why doesn't the mainstream media cover violent anti-white organizations like Black Lives Matter or Antifa? This is essentially just a tu quoque fallacy, especially heinous because of the equivocation between fascist violence and anti-fascist violence, and between white nationalism and black civil rights. The implication is that activism to reduce urban poverty or violence against black people is just the mirror image of white supremacist ethnic cleansing. Shortly after the Charlottesville incident, our proto-fascist president called out Antifa and the alt-left, a term fascists invented to distract liberals and centrists, and establish the assumption that there must be some leftist equivalent to the alt-right. Because if you have a word for a thing, that thing must exist. Both sides' rhetoric is useful to fascists because it diverts attention away from them, vilifies anti-fascists, wins sympathy from centrists, and helps to shift the center of acceptable discourse in their direction. Strategy 8. Incrementalism. You don't have to support a white ethnic state to want common sense policies about immigration. Of course I don't support violence against the non-white people already here. We do have a right to preserve our boundaries in our culture, don't we? The common thread in all fascist strategies is deception and manipulation, often aimed at representing what is essentially an attack on non-white people as a defense of white people and white culture. The fascists' long-term goals are homogenous ethnic state, which at some point will require massive ethnic cleansing of one country.
What? Fuck you.
They won't tell you
Oh my god.
unless they think you're also a fascist. The strategic fascist knows it's better to start with realistic, achievable goals, and that means focusing first on stopping non-white immigration, something they'll try to get you, the centrist, conservative, or liberal, on board with.
I've seen a common talking point among some of the poll threads where people will say things like that, where people will say shit like, you know, even though Trump might not necessarily be a racist himself, he's the best we could have done because it lets us get our agenda done. I've seen that. Actually, that might have actually even been Daily Stormer comment sections that I read that in.
By emphasizing the danger and criminality of non-white immigrants and refugees. If they can whip up enough racist sentiment with that rhetoric, they can later turn that energy against the non-white people who are already here. Strategy 9. The free speech defense. You may not agree with what I say, but I have just as much a right to speak and assemble as anyone else. Much of anti-fascist strategy involves limiting fascists' ability to publicly recruit and intimidate, often by shutting down fascist marches and rallies, or by pressuring platforms not to host fascists. The best way for the fascists to oppose that strategy is to appeal to the liberal value of free speech. Nothing tugs on those classical liberal heartstrings like a tale of woe about how unfairly silenced you are. But remember, fascists do not actually value freedom, democracy, or diversity. They only value the race, the people, the nation. Their long-term goal is a society where there's no room for anyone who isn't white, or even anyone who isn't a fascist, to exist. So you can begrudgingly concede to fascists their constitutional freedoms, but remember, you shouldn't expect any reciprocity from them. They do not care about diversity of opinions. That kind of talking point is just a ploy to protect fascist recruitment and intimidation, and to garner sympathy from centrists.
Good job,
Fascist strategies work because centrists are usually naive about them. They don't notice dog whistles and usually give fascists the benefit of the doubt. Following politics with centrists can be like watching a raunchy comedy movie with children who don't get sexual innuendo. There's a whole hidden layer of meaning that they're not picking up. This makes liberals, centrists, and conservatives who are not savvy to fascist strategy easy to exploit. Time and time again, such people end up inadvertently spreading around fascist memes and talking points without intending to or realizing it. And then they end up bewildered when leftists who recognize the dog whistles take offense. Now you might wonder, well, if fascists disguise themselves and liberals inadvertently duplicate fascist memes, then isn't just about everyone suspect? Aren't you in fact just a paranoid leftist who thinks everyone is a Nazi? Well, that's what they want you to think. They benefit from the confusion and the appearance that the left is paranoid. I'll admit there are cases where I can't tell if someone is genuinely alt-right or if they're just an oblivious centrist who picked up the talking points. Likewise, it can be impossible to tell the difference between someone who is alt-right but not an outright fascist and a fascist who is concealing their power level. So in a sense, yes, I am a little bit paranoid. The other day, the ACLU tweeted a picture of an adorable blonde child with the caption, "This is the future ACLU members want." And for a second I was like, what the fuck? Because it has a close resemblance to a 14 words meme. But of course it's unintentional, it's the ACLU.
I wanted to make sure, unlike most politicians, that what I said was correct. Not make a quick statement. The statement I made on Saturday, the first statement, was a fine statement. But you don't make statements that direct unless you know the fact.
Yes, I have become crazy. But this paranoia, self-doubt, and questioning of your own perception is the psychological consequence of being constantly gaslit by fascists pretending not to be fascists and communicating in code. And it's the intentional consequence of that. Gaslighting is just another—
Oh man, dude, this is like every person that I talk to, like the guy that runs the alt-right, the alternative hypothesis website, where he comes on and he's like, I just want to have a reasonable discussion about blah blah blah, and I don't hate anybody, blah 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 blah, and I just want to talk about these things that are just blah blah blah, they're just these truths. But then you look at his Twitter and he's like, hey, get these fucking immigrants out of here. Or what did he say? Like, the people in New England or in England or whatever that had that terrorist attack, they got what they deserve. Like, like, and it's like, oh, okay, holy shit. So you're actually like a fucking piece of shit. Like, you weren't just having an innocent conversation.
Another tool in the fascist psychological arsenal. So, how do we get better at resisting fascist strategies? I know if you're a centrist who has inadvertently repeated fascist rhetoric or defended fascists, it seems like the left all thinks you're a Nazi and that we hate you. And I admit that I am pretty frustrated with you right now. Obviously. But my forgiveness and encouragement are wide open to anyone who wants to get better at resisting fascism. Fascist strategies can be very subtle and very cunning, so don't feel guilty for falling for them, just try to get better at resisting. I guess my message to liberals, centrists, and non-fascist conservatives is this. If you care about even one person of color, or queer person, or immigrant, stand up for that person by opposing the alt-right and its allies. Do not give them a platform. Do not host debates with them on your YouTube channel. Yes, they have a constitutional right to free speech, but they do not have a right to a megaphone, and you should not be giving them one. I know to a lot of you this just seems like the free marketplace of ideas, everyone expressing their ideas peacefully. But to more vulnerable people, some ideas can be existentially dangerous, because if those ideas catch on, their lives are at stake. Now, if you're just an average person without a big platform, then you actually can debate, and you should be debating. Argue with your friends who are getting kind of alt-righty. Argue with your family. Argue with your coworkers. Let them know that you don't agree. Make them listen to a different perspective. And if you're someone who's gotten involved with the alt-right in the last couple years and is now disillusioned to find yourself in the midst of a dangerous hate group, you have to get out now. It's not too late. Society will forgive you. If you don't know how to leave, look up Life After Hate, an organization founded by a former neo-Nazi that helps people get out of hate groups. And as for all you lefties, na zdrovia. Keep up the good fight, comrades.
Show your mom this video? My, oh god, my mom was sending me messages yesterday defending that Christian dude that didn't open his church up. About how the media was slandering him. Yeah, that Joel Osteen guy. What did my mom send me? Hey, I love you and miss you. I want to mention to you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Osteen spoke to CBS this morning yesterday to clarify. He stated that Houston officials initially asked his church to be a distribution center since the city had already opened a shelter nearby. Several areas of the church were flooded at that time. When the city later asked the church to serve as a shelter, it complied immediately. My point is not to criticize or defend Joel Osteen, it's to note how willing the media has been to publicize appalling condemnation of his church before giving him an opportunity to respond. But a story about an uncaring megachurch fits the secular narrative of our religion is irrelevant or dangerous culture. I suppose churches should just expect this treatment now. Nice. I didn't look at the team to see if I should dodge. Woo! Woo! Damn! Maokai, Shyvana, Yasuo, Tarek. That's a good team. That's a good ass team.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I appreciate 30 seconds until minions spawn. I'm afraid it's nothing more than a daydream.
I'm not paying attention at all. It's pretty shit. Do I like Tarek now? No. But he'll be okay. He's really good late game. I just like fucking people up in lane. I guess I don't know. Tarek's probably okay. I don't think I've ever played with melee supports before playing with the Jigglypuff dude. The Cloud and Eris guy. So I think that I think I'm a little better with it now. He should open stun, right? If we're chasing like this. Dude, you gotta leave. Why would you stay? What are you doing? Okay. I should have left after that. I'm not going in. I don't think I'm ever killing him. Once he pops his barrier, I don't understand people saying I could have stayed and killed him. He has barrier and Soraka has summoner heal. I don't think there's any way me staying. And he's got flash. And there's a Rammus there, and you're saying I should have stayed to try to kill the Lucian? Sounds full fucking retard to me. I should have checked the summoners before going in. Nah, never mind. Even the summoners didn't matter. But as soon as Rammus showed up, we had to kite out and leave. I think I just died again. I think that... Okay. This is pushing towards us, at least. Never mind, no, it's not. I thought we had more melees on our side, but it's close over here. Why is he up here? Alright, you missed a lot of CS there. That was really big. Lucian rushed Ninja Tabby? Why? Why are you sitting here hitting the creeps? Come on, dude. You're dead. Just die. Just die. You're fucking retarded. Yeah, waste your fucking exhaust, dog. Fuck, this Tarek is so garbage. Holy shit. I just don't think he knows like when to go in, or like what. Like I do like no damage to this guy. Tarek is bad now again? No, I didn't say that. I said this Tarek was. We're 3 CS up, 1 kill down. Mid is doing okay. Top is doing. Flash was a little late there, maybe? Apparently Terragast tech creeps to heal. Good to know. Tried to fight. Oh god. Why? Why not leave it up for a little bit longer, my dude? For 4. Oh, never mind. 2 for 3, I guess. What is slowing me down? I think I was just Soraka? Oh no, I'm gonna die to this thing. What? Where? Oh, holy shit. Okay. Nice. What song is this? I don't know. I'm just listening to this, man.
Fine line to you.
Draven out.
So you saw the Rick and Morty thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, don't everybody on the right hate fucking Game of Thrones? Or these people hate Game of Thrones because they think it's all like SJWs now or some shit.
the end of one of the episodes. I don't even know what episode it is actually. I might go and check myself.
The latest one.
But yeah, the antagonist, the writing on Game of Thrones, 2016, and the dude's just like, that's fucking savage, and that is absolutely fucking savage and absolutely on point. What do you think of Series 7 of Game of Thrones, man?
I honestly think Series 6 is bad, but Series 7 is just god-awful.
It's been fucking terrible. The second episode was, I think, the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I was like, no, seriously though, I was just sat there like annoyed by the constantly contrived things that were just happening, and just like, and it was just like skipping his little thing.
Do you remember Brad, your old Quantic gaming manager? Brad. Maybe? Oh, it's been a long time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
His little thing. But there was no like contiguous plot theme between these things. These were just, oh, we need to chop off a bunch of events and tie up a bunch of not, loose ends, or at least show you where they're crossing over into the next line, sort of thing. It was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is like Arya and the wolves. Oh, she's in snow all of a sudden. Oh, the wolf comes up and then just goes away. Plot thing. It's just like, ugh.
You know what's the counter argument to that, right? They will say, and this is if you go on any Reddit forum and you see the most upvoted thing, like, it's a fantasy show, it has dragons and stuff. Like, why do you care? And I think
that's not an argument about like, she could have been doing something in the north rather than just, oh, here's an encounter on the road that led to nothing really anyway. The wolf shunning her or whatever. There's no need for that. It was pointless.
Oh, come on, that's not even the worst thing. Like I was saying earlier, it's like, so she went into the phrase, and you notice that at the banquet where the phrase are eating, there's no women and children there. Because she can't poison women and children, because then she wouldn't be a chaotic good type of character.
Yeah.
She manages to butcher two people, takes them to the kitchen, no one notices, no one complains. She makes a pie, then butchers Walder Frey, again, no one notices, no one complains. She hides the body, she takes off his face. Then she manages to send ravens, I guess, to summon the entire family to be in the banquet. And it's not only that, it's like, Jaime, why is Jaime talking with with the queen? Why isn't he talking with any of the lords of the castle that would actually be the ones controlling the Tyrells? It makes absolutely no sense. And the thing is, when we watch something sci-fi, basically the storyteller and the viewer have an agreement that, yeah, there's going to be a suspension of disbelief, with the fantasy elements. But everything else has to be in the logic of the own story. It's like the characters should have their own logical consistency, and the events should be logical consistency. We suspend the belief for those sci-fi elements, which are the dragons and the White Walkers. And
all right, nice one.
Contemporary fascism, neo-fascism, is different from pre-World War II fascism. When speaking formally about things, you often specify the movement as contemporary, neo-Nazi, contemporary fascist.
Gotcha. Do I think Sargon is a racist? No, I don't really think so.
I don't like
At least not intentionally so.
Oh, no scope!
I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Oh, no scope! Hey, hey, watch this. Hold on, here we go.
What game is? Oh no.
I'm on to you.
Welcome to the League of Draven.
Welcome. Stardew Valley's been submitted to Nintendo for final stages? Oh shit, boys. Why can't we just play real good champions? Why can't we just pick stuff that's not garbage? Why do we have Talon top? Why do we do this? Oh. Does this guy have like an 80% win rate on Talon? Show me. Show me. Oh, look at this. Look at that match history. Live game. Wait. Tier? Solo MMR. No, multi. No, we'll just look up this guy. Name. Treasury. The Katarina is toxic as fuck? Wait, how do you know? Do you know the player? Talon, drumroll, champions. Champion 2 and 8 with Talon. Ooh. Oh, baby. Talon top is okay with 1 versus Jace. But I don't want to play with a Talon and a Katarina on my team. I have no front line. It's just all assassins. The team comp is retarded. I don't mind Talon top for the lay-in. I just don't like the team. Please, somebody dodge. Gragas, Cassiopeia, Jace. Huh. How is RimWorld? Is RimWorld a good meme these days? I know I got updated a lot. Oh, -6 LP. I lost a whole 10 for that dodge. Nice.
Can I get a bro fist?
Bro fist. God, like 10 to 7, I noticed you, buddy. Don't worry.
The art of music is the art of speaking with this spontaneous quality.
Give me that Fahrenheit. Oh, baby. Wait, is this updated? What did we played on Extreme before and we beat it, right? Destiny, why, yo, those headphones you are rocking, what does that mean? Are there any good and do, Oh shit, I might have to feed Nathan actually. What do these symbols mean? Village at the hill. Wait, am I retarded? What am I supposed to pick? You didn't pick those. What did I pick? To form a caravan, select your own colony site where you have people. Zoom in. Press back. Oh. New colony. Crash landed. Extreme. Permadeath. Generate. You need to make your own base first. Click on the map and click terrain. Where the fuck is Mr. Mooten? Yeah, good question. He's at school. Oh. Like that? How does water work in this game? Next. Hey! Hit back and generate 100% of the planet? Wait, why? I'm just curious what it looks like. There's so much shit I'd have to relearn to play this game again. I don't know if I feel like doing it. Okay, listen, we'll come back to this. You have to be in large hills or mountains for the game to be playable. You won't have enough resources. Wait, really? I think I need to feed Nathan, so I don't think I have time to do this right now. Motorcyclist saves guy from suicide by offering... What? Does he not have school? Oh, not today, no. Holy shit. Would this jump even kill him?
Братух, ты чё, поехали, покатаемся. А чё ты?
If he tries to jump in front of a car, I guess. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna go get food for Nathan. I'll be back in like 30 minutes, okay? Be careful. Stay safe. Ripperino, cappuccino, mappuccino, my dudes. I'll be back. Wait, what is this?
Hey everyone. Joe here again on behalf of the League dev team.
Hey.
This preseason, we're making some big changes to the game. In the last Riot Please, we introduced Runes Reforged and discussed our plans to make runes free for everyone.
Wait, what is when does the preseason start? And when does this season end?
This is a huge long-term investment in League, and one of the biggest changes to core gameplay that we've made in a long time. If you haven't already heard, we're combining runes and masteries into one streamlined system that helps you customize your playstyle. In order to get your feedback, we've been releasing a steady stream of new information about runes over the last few months. We've also been playtesting the new system with players around the world, from bronze to pro, and iterating based on their feedback. Runes Reforged are going to PvE later this month.
That flash thing, oof.
And we can't wait to see what you think. Today I want to talk about another major update we've got coming this preseason. While working on runes, we started thinking about how we could improve some of the other related systems in League, systems like leveling and IP. Replacing runes and masteries gave us the chance to revisit progression and rewards at the same time. In this video, I want to share what we have planned with you. Right now, after every game, all players receive a little bit of IP, whether you're brand new or you're a grizzled veteran who's been playing since Season 1. As a result, some players have giant piles of IP with little to spend it on, while others struggle to save for the champs they need. To solve this, we're introducing a revamped reward system that levels up with you. Here's how it's going to work. When preseason hits, we'll be lifting the level 30 cap in League of Legends. Instead of getting a little bit of IP after every game, you'll receive an unlocked chest every time you level up. We'll customize these chests to contain different content based on your level. When you're leveling from 1 to 30, you'll get more champions and blue essence. At high level milestones, you'll earn more exclusive rewards like emotes that show off your status. Come November, we're also going to merge IP with blue essence so that you can buy and craft champions using a single currency. You'll use blue essence for everything that used to cost IP. When we change over, we'll do a direct conversion of all your existing IP into the newer bluer essence, and everything in the store will cost the same amount it did in the old system. In order to make this work, we'll be tuning down the amount of essence you get from disenchanting. But you'll be able to unlock champions about as quickly as before, and at lower levels, it'll be faster. To offset the essence disenchant changes, we'll be tweaking the way loot boxes work, so you'll have a chance to get 2 drops in one chest. We're also adding bad luck protection to crafting, so you won't ever go on long streaks without getting a skin shard or a gemstone from chests. These are huge changes to the way leveling and rewards have worked over the last 7 seasons. We're communicating about them early so they don't come as a surprise when preseason hits. For those of you interested in learning more about the upcoming rewards changes, we've just published a dev blog that dives much deeper into our thinking behind them. Click on the link below if you want to learn more. With runes soon becoming free, we want to show our appreciation for those of you who've invested time and IP into runes over the years. Previously, we announced that we'd refund runes purchased since the end of May, but we think we can do a little more. So, for runes you bought before the beginning of the 2017 season, December 7th of last year, we'll give you 100 blue essence for each regular Tier 3 rune, and 300 blue essence for each Tier 3 quint. For any runes you bought since the beginning of the 2017 season, we'll refund the full cost. Keep in mind that all of this will hit just after we merge IP and blue essence, and you'll be able to use your blue essence just like IP. Since the current runes are going away soon anyway, we're reducing the price on all current Tier 3 runes to 10 IP each starting today. Heads up that anything you spend on runes or rune pages won't be refunded after the price drop. The plan for rune pages is to carry them over into the new system, so prices on rune pages aren't being changed. However, we heard from some players that being able to edit rune pages in Champ Select makes having more than a few pages feel less meaningful. So for any rune page you bought with IP, we'll give you back 1,500 blue essence. We also want to do something for folks who bought rune pages with RP. So for every 4 rune pages you bought using RP, we'll give you an epic skin for a champion you own. We'll also round up. So for example, if you bought 11 pages with RP, you'll get 3 epic skins. And of course, you'll still keep your rune pages in the new system. Refunding runes will leave many of you with more blue essence than you know what to do with. So we're going to give you something to do with it. At the start of preseason, after converting your IP into Blue Essence, we'll open a limited time Blue Essence store. You'll be able to purchase things like ward skins, icons, and a bunch of chromas. For all of you IP dragons who hoarded mountains of IP, we'll also include a few super rare high-priced items like the Earthwick skin. While we're focused on shipping these big features in time for preseason, we're still taking time to tackle quality of life requests. By now you've seen the long-requested warded tier ping, and recently we expanded the free rotation from 10 to 14 champs. Client performance still isn't good enough for some of you, and we're continuing to work on this patch over patch. Before the end of the year, we'll follow through on our promise to add a skins tab to your collection in the client. Of course, Worlds is just around the corner, and everyone here is getting super excited. You'll notice that patches leading up to Worlds include more changes targeted at pro play. Our goal is not to dramatically shake up the meta, our goal is to enable more creative comps, different strategies, and greater diversity, all without compromising the normal experience on live. Once Worlds is over, expect preseason to shake things up a bit. This is going to be one of the biggest updates to League's core gameplay ever, and it may feel a bit like Season 1, where we'll all be learning and experimenting together. We'll be on deck to listen to feedback, engage with the community, and of course balance the system aggressively in preparation for the 2018 season. Everyone on the team is really excited to bring you all of these changes, but as always, we need your feedback. Please, share your comments or questions, and we'll address as many as we can. Thanks so much for playing, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Alright, I'll be back in like 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. I'm gonna get Nathan food. Be careful, be back. Stay safe. Cappuccino, puppuccino, mappuccino.